Hi everyone, I'm Anna Finch and welcome to my channel. Sorry, the pictures, it's a little bit dark in here because it is 11 p.m. at night here in Melbourne, and it is currently storming, so no idea how my internet connection is going to go tonight. I'll give it a couple minutes I'll give it a minute or so to see if people can join in. So today is my book launch. So I had a very quick turnaround for this particular book, mainly because I knew I hadn't published in quite some time. So today's basically just Q&A, doing a reading, maybe doing a writing sprint. It really depends on how many people show up. So just give it a minute. Just give me a moment. Sorry. So, for those of you who don't know, I have just released my new book. So, Hide and Seek Alphabet with Australian Animals. It is my first children's young readers book. So, my first book, my debut novel was Voiceless, A Mermaid's Tale, for young adult readers around 16 to about 16 to 20, roughly. So this is for a much younger audience. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I had it written for a while, and surprisingly, this only took me about a day, or maybe 3 hours, to get the actual story, or to get what I wanted for the script written down. So it took me about maybe 3 hours doing the lines and what I wanted. It only took me that long because I had to find the names of some Australian animals. I mean, I live in Australia, but a lot of the animals I know, there's a lot of animals that start with the same letter that are fairly popular. And I wanted to try and find animals that maybe people didn't know much about. So that's how I came with this one. And I didn't want to just do a straight A is for alphabet book. So I included a little bit of a hide and seek feature in the book to make it a little bit more interesting and engaging. So my book, Hide and Seek Alphabet, I don't know if you can see the cover, with Australian animals. So the cover I went with is actually fairly simple, but it gets the point across. You look at it and you know, okay, it's to do with the alphabet. The initial one of the potential cover designs I got was a map of Australia going across back and front, with like the letters being like X's on the map, with like the X and all the letter and the animal behind it in different parts of the map, which I think is interesting, but might get a bit complex. So my book's available in paperback and in hardcover. I'm trying to angle it so you can see it. So I got the glossy cover. So yeah, available paperback, hardcover. It's also available in an ebook on pretty much all major retailers. Just be aware, if you read ebooks on Nook, unfortunately, the file I have for the ebook is an EPUB 3 with a fixed layout, which Nook doesn't accept, or at least it doesn't through draft to digital. However, it is possible to get it from a different platform and access it through a device that you use with Nook, regardless of what platform you'd prefer to buy in. Hardcover, I've published it through both Ingram Spark and something different. I actually published my paperback version directly with KDP as well. Just with KDP, I did it without the expanded distribution, so it's Amazon only, that version of the book. Just so you're aware, with the book, the color quality will differ depending on where it's purchased. So the color and the type of paper that is used with the Amazon version, or the one that's printed via Amazon, will be different to the one that is printed with a bookstore. It is your choice as to the thing, but I'll let you know, this is the Amazon KDP one that I printed. The paper is it's a glossier type of paper, so the colors appear much more vibrant and brighter, simply because of the glossy type of paper. This is via Ingram Spark. The Ingram Spark paperback or hardcover uses a more matte coloring, a matte type paper, and the colors are not as vibrant, but they still look really good. It is your choice as to what suits you better. So I'll have a bit of a read of the blurb. So, hide and seek alphabet with Australian animals. You probably can't see, but I actually am wearing the t-shirt I bought when I went to the Northern Territory, because it is an Australian book about Australian animals. I'm like, let's put on an Aussie t-shirt. So hide and seek alphabet with Australian animals. So the illustrator I hired was AP Gill. She is a fantastic artist that I hired via Upwork. So she did cover, interior, formatting. She's amazing. So let's have a look at the blurb. Let's go on an adventure through Australia, hidden in the water and in the trees, or among the leaves. What will you find? Australian animals are hiding from your eyes. What do they look like? What sounds do they make? From A to Z, can you find the Australian animals with me? So, I'm super excited. My first picture book. And considering I had a fairly quick turnaround with this thing, I think I got this illustrated, edited, published in less than 3 months. So it was a fairly quick turnaround. My second children's book, which will be coming out next year, had a pretty quick turnaround too. But I'm going to take, because I got the illustrations and stuff earlier for that one, I can have more time to do marketing and editing with that. But anyway, so let's have a bit of a read. So I'm so excited. I like how it turned out. I like how all the interiors turned out. I'll see if I can share my screen so you can see the book. Just give me a moment. Let's see if I can find it so I can show you the ebook. So you can see it on the screen while I'm reading through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm basically just going to read the first few pages. Just give you a bit of an idea as to what to expect with the book. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. All right. So this is the EPUB. I'm reading on the physical copy. A is for Australian Raven. Caw, caw, goes Ash the Australian Raven. But where is he hiding? B is for Budgerigar. Tweet, 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 calls Budgie the Budgerigar. He wants to find his family. But where are they hiding? C is for Crocodile. Grrr, growls Crikey the crocodile. But where is he hiding? D is for Dingo. Oh, howls Daisy the mama dingo. But where are Daisy's puppies hiding? E is for Emu. Brr, brr, drums Ernest the emu. Can you see where he's hiding? I think I'll stop there. I probably won't go past the letter E. Actually, you know what? I'll read another page, another 2 pages. F is for Frog. Ribbit, ribbit, croaks Frank the green tree frog. All his friends are hiding. Can you help Frank find them? G is for Galah. Scree! Scores Gary the Galah. But where is he hiding? So, what do you guys think? So that was the first few pages of my book. So I just got up to the letter G for today. I didn't want to go through the whole book. I will be doing a full live reading at my in-person author event here in Melbourne. So if you are in Melbourne, come check it out. It's a local community club. There will be, if you are in Melbourne and you want to have a look, just send me a message via YouTube or through Facebook. I can send you the details as well. Anyway, so I hope you guys like this. So pretty interesting with publishing this with a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah, so I think publishing this, getting this published, and with a short turnaround, and we're working on a book in a completely different age bracket was interesting. Definitely an experience, a positive one. Working with an illustrator was completely new, and working out contracts for illustrations and things like that was also fairly interesting. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride getting all this done, getting arcs and that I will be doing a longer pre-order, pre-release, and ARC giveaways and that for my next one, which will come out sometime March next year. I've got to finalize the date. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm going to try and see if I can do a live reading of this at the school I work at, as it's from primary, so preschool or prep up to senior school, so it covers pretty much the entire range of schooling. I'll try and see maybe if I can do one. Who knows? I do intend on doing other live author events in person in Melbourne. Particularly, I'm looking at doing a stall at the Queen Victoria Market here in Melbourne, which is probably one of the bigger landmarks around here in Melbourne as well. Should be interesting. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about the release of this book, and doing the in-person author event, but because it is actually local and people from my local library also have a stall there, which is going to be interesting. So people that watched me growing up may actually be there. So that's going to be fun. I have no idea. I've let my family and friends know as well about the event. So I don't know who's going to turn up. I don't know if anyone from my family, like my extended family, is going to show up. No idea. But it should be a pretty interesting day, at least. Yeah. So one of the things I found challenging with writing this book was actually finding animals that weren't used in other alphabet books that had Australian animals. Because I did have a look at some other books, because I started writing the idea and coming up with it, and I had a look at some of the books that were alphabet based, and I'm like, no, they've used that animal, got to change it, because I wanted it to be different. I didn't want to have the same commonly known Australian animals, so I wanted to use animals that people didn't know much about or may not have associated with Australia, like the budgie. It's pretty much sold. The budgie is a native. There's a native version here in Australia of the budgie, or the budgerigar. They found in the dry regions here in Australia natively, but they're also sold as a pet around the world. So maybe a lot of people may not have realised that we had a version here in Australia. Another one like the galah. The galahs are a beautiful bird. They can get very loud and annoying, but they're an absolutely gorgeous bird that's native here that people may not have heard about. So same with some of the animals. I think maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 actually out of the entire alphabet. 6 animals that I use to represent the alphabet are probably ones that people know about, may have heard about in media. Others are a bit more or not as well known, hopefully. So I did something a bit different, and a lot of these animals are really beautiful animals. Some of them are endangered as well, but a lot of them are just not well known, simply because they come from more isolated regions, Well, because they are endangered, so a lot of people don't hear much about them. So there's that. But yeah, it's been fun. But it took me, the biggest challenge was actually finding animals with certain letters. Like some of them I could easily go, yep, I know this animal. Like galah. I'm like, I know this one. I'm like, tick. So things or I for ibis. Had to actually look up what the actual name of that bird was, because the ibis has been affectionately known as the bin chicken in parts of Australia when they're in urban areas. So I had to actually look that one up. Some I knew. I'm like, yep, straight away. But the hardest one, I think, to find was actually the letter X. I tell you, trying to find an animal starting with the letter X in Australia was a nightmare. I spent the bulk of the 3 hours with writing and preparing this book, like before I sent it for editing and getting illustrations and stuff like that. The initial draft, the bulk of the 3 hours from the initial draft was finding something that started with the letter X. Like with some of them, with some of the letters, I'm like, there's only one thing that starts with that letter that I can find native here to Australia that I could use. But the letter X, that one was a pain. I ended up having to search. I ended up finding a very rare animal. It generally migrates. It's found rarely here in Australia, usually in the northern parts, due to migration, things like that. But it's very rare. I'm like, that's as good as it's gonna get. The only thing I was thinking of maybe doing, if I couldn't find an animal starting with X, was finding another animal and they're just putting a name that starts with X. But I'm just glad I found something that started with the letter X. That wasn't a massive scientific name, because I'm not joking. I found some others that started with X, but it's a long scientific name. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. Like there was one that started with X, and it was like this like 20-letter scientific name. Oh, and there was another one that was like two words, but they were both like Latin scientific names, and I'm like, I cannot pronounce that. I have no hope of pronouncing that. How could a kid, right? And because this book is for 3 to 5 year olds, I have to put things that a 3 to 5 year old is capable of potentially pronouncing, even if they may not be able to read off the page directly themselves. If it's read to them, it needs to be something that they themselves can easily pronounce. Hence, like the names of the that I gave the animals are generally pretty simple names, fairly short names. Because it needs to be something a kid can pronounce, because it is a children's book. So finding names of animals, had to find ones that are fairly easy to pronounce, where if they hear it, as well as the names that I gave the individual animals, giving them relatively easy names to remember. That was tricky. But yeah. Overall, with writing this, personally, I found it actually easier write this and get it finished, sent to an editor. I found it easy to actually write this once I got some ideas down. Found it easier to write the children's picture books than the novel. Because I am working on my novel. I'm still on my first draft. It is, hopefully, I can, with NaNoWriMo coming up, I can knuckle down and get that first draft done. That is my goal. Get it done. I don't care if it's missing gaps in the first draft, but get the initial draft done. Send it to developmental editors. But I found writing the children's book quite enjoyable. Much easier for me to get done in a short period of time. I think I wrote when I was writing this one, I had actually written like 4 children's picture books. This is the first one I decided to publish because it was relatively simple in comparison to the other ones, which had a slightly more complex, had a storyline. So yeah, so I ended up writing quite a bit, going on a writing spree with that. And I've got, and because I hadn't written for a while, like I'd maybe written a paragraph here and there during my long hiatus, particularly when I was in a meeting, but it was like pulling teeth. Changed direction with that story, but doing this picture book, doing these other picture books that I've written, and in this case published, I found it not just enjoyable, but it got me back into writing after such a long period of not doing it. And because it's short, simple, well, not simple, and this isn't simple. It does have a clear objective in it. But it is, in comparison to a novel, relatively simple, has a relatively simple, straightforward structure. Like, and some of the other children's books that I've written, I haven't published yet, but the other children's books, same thing. In comparison to a novel, it has a relatively simple structure. And because it's something I was able to get done within a short period of time, I actually felt like I accomplished something. Whereas with my second novel, it is taking me forever to get that done. And yeah, so it's a real struggle with that. But yeah, but with this, I'm happy. Even if it doesn't sell massive amounts of copies, I'm still happy with how it turned out. I'm still glad I did it. Because it's fun. It was fun. And it got me back into the writing. Yeah. Anyway. So, I'm going to end the live stream here. Now I have got I've got about 30 paperback and 10 hardcover editions of Hide and Seek Alphabet at the moment. So I've actually got some physical copies because I am going to be selling them at the live author event in my local area this Sunday. Hence why there's no live stream this Sunday. I'll probably do a short writing sprint video maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But I've actually got physical copies of this. I've also got about 20 or so physical copies of the paperback of Voiceless. If you're interested in buying a copy directly from me, you can contact me through my website. Just send me a message via the contact button or the contact section on my website, annafinchauthor.com. Send me information, and I can send you the price. So the cost of the paperback, hardcover, or large print in the case of Voiceless will depend. Again, there will be a price in Australian dollars. The price is already written on my website, annafinchauthor.com. I've actually put prices in Australian dollars there for both Voiceless and for my new release. They're in Australian dollars. If you would like to know the price in your own currency, send me a message. I'll tell you the price. I can also tell you shipping costs. So the price for the book, you will, in order for me to send it to you, you'll need to pay shipping fees, which hopefully won't be much. It really depends on whether you would like a registered post or if you want express delivery, things like that. So shipping costs will depend on country and location, whether it's a regional / rural area or whether it's urban city. So those things will impact the price and time of shipping and handling. But I will be sending these directly if you wish to order them, and any copies you order directly from me will be signed with a personal message that you would like me to include in the book. Just if you wish to purchase the copy directly, just let me know. Things like the locale, so where it needs to be sent to, what sort of message you would like on the book, and I can send it to you. Any purchases would be done through PayPal. Any purchases for the book will be done online via PayPal. And I can also send that way you'll get an invoice / receipt for it. With the paperback version, if you choose to buy directly from me, you'll be getting the KDP paperback, if you want the paperback, with the more glossy paper and vibrant colours, as I personally prefer this one. You'll be getting this version, this printed version. If you wish, for the paperback, it will be the matte colours. Any books purchased from me directly, again, will be signed with a personal message that you would like in the book. Again, any messages, if you are interested, let me know, and I'm more than happy to contact you via email once you send me a message through the contact page, and sell you a copy directly. So again, prices on the website do not include shipping costs. Shipping costs are separate. So check out my new book, Hide and Seek Alphabet with Australian Animals. It is available on pretty much all major online retailers, including Amazon, Apple, Google Play, Kobo, Barnes & Noble. However, be aware that if you are a Nook user, the ebook is unfortunately not available on Nook. However, if purchased through another platform, you'll be able to access it via your device that you have from Nook, as the RM is not on the actual book. So ebook is available in US dollars, $3.99. It is the same price but in Canadian dollars. So it is $3.99 Canadian, Australian, New Zealand dollars, as well as British pounds and euro. So the price will be the same for ebook across those platforms and in those currencies. The paperback is available on Amazon for $15.99. And That's yeah, that's in US dollars as well. So if you have bought a copy of the book or would like to buy one, let me know what you think about it. Put a review, putting a review on Goodreads or whichever platform you purchase from is really, really helpful. It helps boost the algorithm for the book, as well as it tells me what things I should improve on as a writer, as well as things like to do with the formatting or font and stuff like that. That feedback, any feedback you give me is really helpful to improve future books as well. Yeah, so if you do buy a copy, have a think about leaving a review. Let me know what you think. So that's pretty much it. Welcome. Hi. So I was about to end this, but if you have any questions to ask me, more than happy to answer them. So I guess that person just left. Yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions about this, leave a comment, send me a message through my website. I look forward to hearing what you think. So, yeah. All right. See ya. And stay safe, everyone.